Hey, good morning, everyone. It's your boy, the Mad Scientist, with the Run DFS Morning Show. We're going to recap last night, even though it was a painful night. But sometimes you need to feel the pain to enjoy the wins. As a Buddhist proverb once said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. No pain, no game, right? So last night we had another blowout with the Mavs at the Hornets, which killed some of our core Mavs plays. But what can you do? Blowouts are really hard to predict and almost impossible to avoid. The T-Wolves also blew out the Bucks without Giannis. And one interesting thing I want to point out is that the T-Wolves are currently ranked first in offensive rating and second in defensive rating since the All-Star break. But that's only an 11-game sample size. And they played the Blazers and Thunder twice in that game span. Still an interesting note nonetheless. Westbrook almost had another triple-double game last night. All that hate seemed to light a fire under him. Also, Garland continues to crush his free throw prop, so that's something to monitor going forward. We will go over our favorite prop that is currently available and our favorite player targets at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. Today we have 9 games, with 2 of those being island games starting earlier at 3:30 Eastern. The Blazers at the Pacers and the Grizzlies at the Rockets. So let's get hunting. The Grizzlies are 10-point favorites against the Rockets with a 232 implied total. Morant is out, so we know what that means. A huge boost in defensive rating, as it goes from a 112 defensive rating with Morant playing to a 100 with him out. And the Grizzlies are 13-2 without him and have an average point differential of 17 points with 33, 35, and 73 point differentials thrown into that mix. So that means we could consider some unders for the Rockets. Kevin Porter Jr. has a 14.5 point prop and he averages only 14 points on the season. And he gets a very tough matchup against Tyus Jones. So we might want to take the under on that prop. Also, Tate has been playing less minutes lately with guys like Martin and Sengun in the mix. And actually, Sengun has been checking in for Tate too and playing alongside Wood recently. So we could consider going under on Tate's 10.5 point or 17.5 PRA props as well in this very tough matchup. On the Memphis side, we're interested in first half props, including Desmond Bane's and Steven Adams' first half fantasy points. 2 weeks ago, Desmond Bane dropped 42 fantasy points on the Rockets, and Steven Adams finished with 57 fantasy points. We are also interested in Tyus Jones' assist prop if it stays under 7, since he has a 30% assist rate with Morant out, and he just dished out 11 assists with him out, and that was a blowout game too, where the starters did not touch the court in the fourth quarter. The Blazers at Pacers game has a 7.5 point spread and a 232 implied total. We have 2 very bad defenses in this matchup. The Blazers have been keeping games close lately, which is surprising, but a lot of this is due to Josh Hart carrying the team and Winslow being back, along with the addition of Chris Dunn, who is a solid defender, so that is a boost for their backcourt defense. We should definitely target Dunn's block steal prop if it's available, as Halliburton turns the ball over at a very high rate. Also, bigs have been feasting against the Pacers, so we can definitely target Eubanks for his rebound or fantasy point props. And Josh Hart is always in consideration on the Blazers side, especially his fantasy point prop since he fills the stat line. Winslow has already been ruled out, so that's even more of a boost for Hart, and guys like Watford, who we can consider as well for his PRA. On the Pacers side, we should look into Halliburton's assist prop if it's under 9, and if they give us his block steal prop again. Brogdon's real point prop is definitely in play. And Jalen Smith left early last game and did not return, so he's questionable, and Goga is questionable as well, and Isaiah Jackson is already ruled out. Both Goga and Jalen Smith are out, then that's a huge boost for Brissett, and would make his PRA a solid play if he can stay out of foul trouble.
Hey guys, it's Danny. I'm just here to let you guys know about the free Discord that we did launch. The link for it is in the description down below. Jump in there, share your screenshots, talk about your favorite props on Prizepicks, and share your DFS lines, and we'll all talk about it.
The Pelicans at Hawks game has a 3.5 point spread and a 232 implied total, and we always like targeting the Hawks. Trae Young and Devontae Graham are both questionable. Key targets in this game will be Jay Bell's fantasy point prop and either McCollum's assists or point props. On the Hawks side, Capella's first half fantasy point prop has been a Honeywell for us, so we should look out for that, especially if it's less than 17 fantasy points. But for other Hawks targets, it's a wait and see approach with Trae Young's status. Overall, this game holds a lot of potential if it can stay close. The Thunder at Magic game has a 5 point spread and a 227 implied total. Wendell Carter is returning, so he will be a primary target in this matchup for both his PRA and his fantasy point props. as bigs continue to dominate the Thunder. On the Thunder side, SGA is questionable, but he's been playing through this ankle injury tag, so we definitely want to target his fantasy point or real point props if he plays. Bazley is also in play for his fantasy point prop due to his big minutes and this favorable matchup against the Magic. The Suns at Kings game has a 10-point spread with a 231 implied total, and Fox is questionable again, and he missed the last game. We saw Sabonis dominate the usage in his absence, even against a strong Celtics defense. So his fantasy point prop is definitely in play if Fox is out again. However, this game has blowout potential written all over it as the Suns continue to steamroll teams, and it's the Kings defense. So we could consider Sabonis' first half fantasy point prop. And the same goes for the Suns, including Ayton's first half fantasy point or real point props. But we need the Fox news before making any decisions on this game. The Celtics at Nuggets game has a 3-point spread with a 221 implied total. The Celtics defense is an absolute force and retains the best defensive rating, so we could consider some unders here, including either Will Barton's or Monte Morris's point props. Also, Bones Hyland has been really effective recently and thus gaining more run and usage, which is eating into their production. So that makes us like their unders even more. And the Celtics perimeter defense is just too good. On the Celtics side, guards continue to torch the Nuggets, so we definitely like Marcus Smart's fantasy point or PRA prop in this matchup as he's been filling the stat line lately. Unfortunately, we don't have his assist prop available yet, but it's something to look out for. And Tatum's point prop is always in play too, especially in competitive games, and he will run point a lot. The Spurs at Warriors game has a 6-point spread with a 229 implied total. The Warriors will be without Steph, so Poole will have to carry the load. He can get hot at any moment, and this is a great spot for him in this up-paced matchup versus the Spurs. So we can target his point prop or his PRA since he will get assists as well. DeJounte has a great history against the Warriors, and he should continue that trend today. Both Lonnie Walker and McDermott are out, so he'll have to carry the load even more. Thus, his fantasy point prop is definitely in play and is something we will mark as a key target. In summary, our favorite prop that is currently available on the board is Marcus Smart's 23.5 PRA, but our overall favorite targets will be Sabonis if Fox is out, and Memphis first half props including Steven Adams and Desmond Bane, along with Tyus Jones' assist prop if it's less than 7. Hopefully we avoid blowouts today. They have burned us lately. But be sure to leave a comment below and tell us what your favorite targets are, and we'll definitely respond. And hit the like button on the way out, we always appreciate that. And definitely subscribe if you're not part of the Run DFS team yet. Let's ease that pain from last night with a bounce back today. And as always, best of luck. I hope you guys crush it. Take care.